Are you willing to find a way? Or are you gonna run, just hide away? My emotions are tidal wave. With a hurricane comes a brighter day.
Peace, everybody. Peace and love. My appellation or my name is Isaiah Tools. My stage name, artist name is S Tools. I thought it was very prominent and important that I made this video today to share my testimony, share my story on my experience with police terrorism, which many of you call police brutality. I thought it was only right that I shed some light and share some knowledge on, from what I acquired and what I've been through, and how I was able to beat and overcome an unlawful case and charges that was pending against me after these policy enforcers beat me and terrorized me. They tried to charge me, but I was able to beat that with no lawyer, no attorney, by myself. 10 months by myself. So I thought it was only right that I share the knowledge, share the wealth, shed some light, and I hope that I invigorate somebody watching this video. Feel free to comment, feel free to ask questions. I'll try to answer as much as I can. If someone else sees it that knows something, feel free to answer, converse. You guys can chat in it under the comments. Let's do it respectfully. I think that's one thing that we can keep alive, and we need to do better is just respect one another and respect opinions and respect knowledge. Everything I learned, it's all public information. Do your research after everything I share. Look it up because it's all out there for you. And when I learned what I learned, I was flabbergasted and I was never the same. We've been oppressed, we've been terrorized, we've been misguided way too long, and it's time that we really wake up out of this deep sleep that many of us been in for decades. I also wrote a song recently called USA. I wrote USA to inspire, to invigorate. I wrote this song with the motive for it to be an anthem for what our people have been going through from the beginning of time to now. And I hope the song, can inspire many and touch many, and all my experiences motivated me and invigorated me to write this song. I did take some notes so I could try to remember certain things. I'm not gonna try to make this video too long. I'm gonna try to touch up on some points and, share what I know. There's so much, so I'm not gonna be able to say everything, but bear with me. Like I said, everything is public information. Everything I'm gonna share, look it up yourself. If you don't agree, that's fine. Just look it up. Like I said, I was never the same when I started learning what I learned, and I would never been able to beat this case if I didn't learn what I learned. I think a proper term that many of us should be using today is police terrorism and genocide. And terrorists are people who instill terror, instill fear. That's what's going on every day. That's what's going on. That's what we see. That's traumatizing. To this day, I'm still traumatized from my experience. My condolences and my heart goes out to everybody who didn't make it, who are not alive today, from Trayvon Martin to Emmett Till to our brother George Floyd, to those who experienced it, and other names and other people we don't even know who died, who were murdered. My heart goes out to y'all. This is terrorism. This is genocide. So I'm gonna get a little deeper into that. United States Code Title 18 speaks on domestic terrorism. You can look it up. If these cops step out of this code of conduct, they are not domestic terrorists, and that's what we've seen on a day-to-day basis. So let me get to the story. Not too long ago on my birthday, in the back of a conveyance, back of a vehicle, automobile. My cousin's driving, a young lady in the front. I'm in the back, a block away from my house, my residence, my mom and dad's residence. And they pull us over, 2 cops pull us over. When they first came, I noticed their body cameras are off. The first thing I noticed, they asked my cousin a bunch of questions, license, registration, etc. My cousin breaks him off with the registration. So after 20 questions, when he asked my cousin what he ate, I stepped in, I interviewed, I said, "Hey officer, do you mind telling us," at the time I said officer, "do you mind telling us why you're pulling us over? Can you give us a reason?" He said, "Oh, your license plate light is out." Now to educate y'all, if you get pulled over for your license plate light, just know 9 out of 10 times it's an antic they're utilizing to pull you over to see if they can find some sort of probable cause. So be aware of that, take note of that. When I asked him why he pulled us over, and when he said license plate light was out, I said, okay. He was upset. He asked for my license. I gave it to him. Here's my license. Here you go. Boom, boom. Here's my wallet. And he said, you've been arrested before, huh? I'm like, I'm not going to answer that. 5th Amendment. By the way, guys, you don't have to speak to cops. You don't have to converse with them. You don't have to answer any questions. Don't be fooled. Don't be scared when they say, I ask you a question, etc. It's all there. 5th Amendment, you have the right to remain silent. You have to answer anything. So I didn't answer him when he asked me for writing arrested before. It's none of his business. So I guess they felt a type of way. They opened the car door and said, come out by force or by will. So my heart's beating. I'm like, whoa, what's your probable cause? What's your PC for taking me out the car? You have no PC. Next thing I know, they're grabbing me by my neck, literally choking me to get out, get out, get out. They yanked me out the car, and I don't know, maybe they was shocked by how big I was. I'm 6'6", about 220. Instantaneously, both cops start wailing on me. I get pepper sprayed, so they're just going off. They're just beating me. They put me to the sidewalk, to the curb, and they're just wailing at me, just going. Stop resisting. The whole time, both my hands are up like this. I'm like, I'm not resisting, and they did not stop. I was pepper sprayed 3 times in total. While I was cuffed and my legs were being held, so I'm cuffed, someone's sitting on my legs, I'm still being punched and pepper sprayed. I just played dead. I thought I was gonna die. I felt like I was being buried alive. So I just played dead. That's how they stopped. After me not moving, they stopped, shook me on a little bit. You know, I responded. I couldn't fake that I was knocked out because of all the pepper spray. They threw me in the cop car. They're laughing at me. A couple more cops come. They ask me what happened. They're singing happy birthday. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I can't believe this happened. The sheriff comes and says you're being charged with 4 counts. So I'm shocked. I'm like, whoa. He says you're being charged with legal or illegal arrest. Legal or illegal arrest. Obstruction of execution. Disorderly conduct. Striking officials, minor injury. They said I beat them up. Those 2 cops said I beat them up. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, in my head I said my life is over. I just got my college degree. I just started working with a real estate firm. I'm like, I'm done. So I asked them to take me to the hospital. I felt like I had a concussion. It took them 4 hours to take me to the hospital. I thought I was gonna die. Legit thought I was gonna die. Go to court the next day. The tribunal, the court. I'm in front of a magistrate, aka judge, and you know, they read the charges to me and they give me a public defender. One thing I want to educate you guys on with the public defenders, or anybody who's so-called defending you or representation of you, if a public defender does not sign a contract, or any attorney sign a contract saying that they are defending you, there's no contractual agreement, they are not your lawyer. So all these people who are going to these tribunals, these courts, and they assign you a public defender, that's not really your lawyer. You never signed a contract with them, right? And these public defenders, like mine did, try to tell me to take a plea. Yo, you gotta take a plea, man. All I could do is drop 3 of these charges. You gotta take 1. No, I'm not taking. I told him I'm not taking no charge for something I didn't do. So what I'm saying is, many of us are being bamboozled to believe that these public defenders are your lawyers. You're not signing anything with them. These public defenders work with these judges, these magistrates. They work with each other. They all pass a bar exam. That's a conflict of interest. Some of their officers are in the courtroom. Some of them go play golf together, go to the bar, smoke cigars together. That's a conflict of interest. Keep that in mind. If you don't believe me, look it up. I went home the next day. I called my job. They fired me. No question. They didn't ask if I was okay or not. So now I have no job, no source of income. Can't work with a real estate firm. They let go of me. I'm like, I'm done, right? Just got my degree, right? Which I learned a lot about anyways. But anyways, stick on subject. Made a video on Facebook and a lot of people reached out to me. I was grateful for that. A lot of people showed love. The NAACP, ACLU, a lot of people reached out. But when I met the Moors, I met my Moorish brothers and sisters, some of my Muslim brothers and sisters, that's when I really began to learn and be educated on proper terms and proper sayings. And I woke up out of my sleep. I'm gonna read some terms to you that I learned and I utilized in court, and I was able to win. And now my whole perspective is different, right? Now, once again, if you don't believe me, everything is public information. Look it up, right? So I learned about our ancestors, our ancestry. I learned more about Haiti, Haitiano. Tout haïtien mieux campé que before. You know what I mean? Ça passé. Learn about my ancestry. I learned about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. I learned about the Treaty of Tripoli. I learned about the letter that our first president, George Washington, the letter he wrote to Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Look this stuff up, right? He wrote the letter, Sultan of Morocco, 1789. Look it up. You don't believe me? It's all there. Read what the letter says. George Washington apologizing. Anyways, I don't want to get too off subject. You know what I mean? Let me just focus. When I learned all these things, the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional. I learned about Christian black codes. As I started to learn and adhere this knowledge, I was never the same. So what I learned from this was the term, okay, now this is the most important thing. In the eyes of the law, if you utilize black, now when people say black power and black movement, we understand what we're saying. We know what that means. But in the eyes of the law, you're inferior. Black Law's Dictionary, if you look it up and you look at the word black, first of all, black is an adjective. Black means color, right? Black is a color, but black means fake, it means pale. You don't believe me? Look it up. So when you're saying, when it comes to law in the eyes of the law and these Europeans and these colonizers, I'm black, they're like, this person's ignorant. Ignorant in the sense that this person doesn't know what they're saying. Your civil little mortus. Civil little mortus means dead in the eyes of the law. You don't believe me? Look it up. Black Law's Dictionary, guys. 4th edition, preferably. A lot of people believe that's the best. Black Law's Dictionary. This book is phenomenal. This book is something else. And it's expensive for a reason. But anyways, I learned that it's not about color. It's about nationality. That's why when I went to court, I went there in reference of my nationality, my bloodline, right? Because black is a color. Black is not real. Black is not a bloodline. It's not a bloodline. So if I went to court saying I'm a black person, I'm a black this, black, the magistrate, the judge more than likely knows this person. You're saying you're dead. You're saying you're fake. So they can't take your words. A fake person can't speak, right? Right. Another little thing to not backtrack. All caps. When you get arrested and you deal with the law, your name is in all caps. When you get a business, your name is all caps. When the deceased, your name is in all caps. What does that mean? Do the connection, look it up for yourself and find out. I don't want to go too deep into this. Article 22, Christian Black Codes, says black can't own property. It's all there. Corporation, an artificial person, minority, the state or condition of being a minor, right? These are terms that we've been attached to and learned and been taught our whole lives. Color is a plausible, assumed exterior, concealing a lack of reality. You don't believe me? Look it up, y'all. I promise. So, all of this I didn't learn in school. I didn't learn in college. I got a bachelor's degree. I'm flabbergasted. Like, whoa, what is all of this, right? And I'm like, I started to wake up. I started to understand self. Brother Malcolm X, Tashariq Bey, Farrakhan, all of them speak on nationalism, understanding your nationality. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that we need to understand is our nationality, our bloodline. That is nationalism. Look at the Jews, right? Look at the Chinese. Not to get off subject, but think about it real quick. In every major city, there's a Chinatown. You go to New York, you go to the major cities, major areas, the Jewish have their own police. They have their own money. They have their own hospital. They have their own law firms. Why is that? You think more likely if you're a brother, if you're brown skinned, you're Swarthy, you want to try to get some property in the Jewish community, you think you're going to get that property? More than likely it's going to be very minuscule to get that property. But they understand. I can't knock them. They understand their nationality. They understand what's going on. They understand their motive. And they stick together. That's what we need to do. But let me stick back on subject. So the public defender is not your lawyer. They try to put the public defender on me. I betted that, right? I asked a magistrate for the record on the record. It's a gentleman underwriting me. Did he nice on the contract? When the answer was no, I told him have a seat. He had to sit down. This is when I started seeing what I learned was real. What I acquired was real, right? The Moors and I, we composed an affidavit, 11-page affidavit. An affidavit is your information, your case on paper. So I came with my own affidavit. I'm speaking. An attorney speaks for you. I have no attorney. I'm speaking for myself now, right? In propria persona. So this went on for 10 months. I nationalized myself. I changed my name to Isai Tuze Bey, right? So all in all, what I'm saying is this. This whole thing went on for 10 months. Also, let me also add, right? I was kidnapped, arrested again. About 6 months after they arrested me the first time, kidnapped. I was arrested again because they knew I was a threat. They knew I was fighting this case. They knew I was going to win. So they're trying to break me. Each time you get arrested, you gotta stay overnight. You gotta stay in the cold cell. You don't get no food. You're amongst other people who are bugging out. So I wasn't gonna break. I stood my square. So for 10 months, we went to the tribunal, the courts, went there, squatted deep as a unit, supporting our brothers and sisters. Went there with the knowledge. I studied my tail off, hours and hours. And I was up there, yo, when I tell you the judge was shaking, I could hear her feet clanking. This is all true story. So there's so much more I want to say, but I don't want to get too off topic and get too crazy. My whole point is educate yourself. Imagine us being educated and us knowing the law, knowing ourselves, knowing our ancestry, understanding ourselves, and properly know. Oh my God. Let me just focus real quick. Forgive me. So I ended up having the case dismissed, and I beat the case after 10 months of learning. So yes, so once again, my points to leave off before I end this video, because I don't want to go too crazy, y'all. We need to educate ourselves. Share this video. Do your research from the little things I just dropped, because that's just a little bit. There's so much more. Share videos of other brothers and sisters who share these knowledgeable information or matters of observation. Share them. Share the song. Uplift one another. We need to start protecting ourselves. We need to start learning how to properly operate automated weapons. Teach our children, teach our parents, teach our family. We need to start making, small little armies if we have to. If something's going on, you think if our brother George Floyd, if there was 5-6 guys, brothers and sisters, more strapped up, knew their rights, knew everything, you think that would happen? You think that oppressor, that terrorist, you think that would have happened if 6-7 brothers and sisters were strapped up with body armor on, AKs, and was really strapped, was out? You think that would happen? You think if the community everybody was knowledgeable, at their windows, come up, you think that would happen? No. This is something that I think and I believe we need to start doing. We need to start educating one another. In other countries, you try to steal, see what happens, chop your hand off. You kill somebody, you get killed. It's only here because a lot of us are not aware of ourselves and our nationality and our ancestry to really defend against these oppressors and colonizers. They feel like they can do whatever they want to us. And that's a problem. Homeland Security stated that white supremacists, terrorists, are primary security threat. Don't believe me, look it up. Like I said, El-Haj Malik El-Shabazake, Malcolm X, and speak on nationalism. I keep repeating that, but that's a prominent thing. With the riots and the looting and things like that, a lot of it going on. I'm not saying don't do it. What I will say is this: be mindful and be aware of the small companies, the small mom and pop shops, mom and pop stores, and the people who look like you and I who worked hard from the ground up to make these small businesses. Be mindful of that, y'all. Be mindful of that, man. I'm not saying don't loot. I'm not saying don't riot. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying if you're gonna do it, be mindful of those businesses. Those major corporation companies that spoke bad about our people, who publicly said things, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, all these companies, if you stop funding them, see what happens. Stop funding Gucci, stop funding Louis, and stop funding these other corporations and companies. See what happens. Stop putting money in their pocket. That's where you hit them if you really want to hit them. Now, I know it'll be an adjustment and it'll be half a money to start shopping within our own, but it's possible. But a lot of us don't know self. A lot of us are ignorant and unaware of the power we hold, the power our ancestries had, the power we possess, the power we still have. A lot of us don't know. Stop spending time on social media and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and watching movies. Study, y'all. Because these oppressors, these colonizers, Europeans are laughing at us, man. I'm telling you. Imagine us being knowledgeable and strapped and protected. All in all, there's so much I want to say. I don't want to get too crazy. Maybe I'll make another video. For those who say, Black Lives Matter and really believe they want to support the black community, and like I said, look up the terms I gave you earlier. Swarthy is the proper term, brown, copper skin, right? Because black means fake, of course, etc. But we know what that means. For those who say Black Lives Matter, if you really support this video, you say Black Lives Matter, share this video. Educate your brothers and sisters. Every term I stated in this video, look it up. I promise you're gonna find it. You're gonna be shocked. That's just a crumb. There's so much more. Then when you become aware and you become awake, your life will change. We'll get stronger as a community, as a union. Unanimity is how to build. So if you really say Black Lives Matter, etc., share this video. I also want to say, not all cops are bad, y'all. Not all cops are bad. Not all these policy forces are bad. Just like not all pastors are good. Not all doctors are good. My point is, there's corruption in everything. There's gonna be bad doctors, good doctors. Bad cops, good cops. Bad lawyers, good lawyers. There's some cops who really got the job and they might not be aware of self either. They probably just got the job to do good for the community. There's some out there. Be mindful of that. Not all of them are bad. And it's scary because some of them go through what we're going through in police uniform while they're working. You don't think they get looked down on and mistreated too? You don't think some of them want to say something? And I'm not saying it's okay, but some of them, if they say something or do something, which I'm not saying it's okay, they're gonna get shunned and can't get promoted, which I'm not saying it's okay. I mean in other terms that are not as severe and nasty. They look down on our people that are in uniform too. There are mayors, senators, all types of people that in power who are getting killed and who are being murdered. Excuse me, who are being murdered, who are being mistreated. Let's keep that in mind, y'all. We gotta educate each other, know oneself. So everything I said in this video today, look it up. Please share, please comment. I forgot certain things and certain things I want to say. I'm so passionate all over the place. Feel free to add that in the comments. Feel free to share what you've learned. But I was able to beat the case with no lawyer, fighting for 10 months because of what I've learned and me educating myself, me sitting down and really learning. Peace and love to everybody. Share the video, share the song, and comment respectfully, please, man. We need more respect. We need more love. I'm willing to make change, man. I'm looking to make change. So let's stick together and let's do it. Let's make it happen. Peace.
Are you willing to find a way? Or are you gonna run, just hide away? My emotions are tidal wave. With a hurricane comes a brighter day.